Doing a job interview can be challenging in a foreign language environment. It can be stressful to stay confident when you're worried about making a language mistake. Unfortunately, there's nothing you can say that will guarantee you get the job you're interviewing for. But to help you build a little confidence, I'm going to teach you 5 tips for responding to common questions interviewers ask in job interviews. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more English language tips. Let's start with one single word that you can use at the beginning of your interview when you introduce yourself. Tip number 1. When the interviewer says, "Nice to meet you," you reply with, "Likewise." Believe it or not, I've had a few students use this exact word, likewise. It really just means same to you. Often in the job interview, you're meeting the person for the first time, and the interviewer will very often start with, "Pleased to meet you," or "Nice to meet you." And a great way for you to respond is with, "Likewise." It sounds professional and not excessively formal. It's a really nice, relaxed way to start. Now, if the interview starts differently, they'll often end the interview with, "Have a nice day," or "It was great meeting you," in which case you can also say, "Likewise." Tip number 2. If the interviewer says, "Tell me about yourself," you say what you've been doing and what you're hoping to do in the future. So, wow, where do you begin with this? I would just give the interviewer a quick summary of your recent life and then talk about your plans.
Tell me about yourself.
I've been living in Toronto for a few weeks while I get ready for school, and I'm looking for a part-time job to earn a little extra cash and hopefully get some experience in customer service. Or, I've just graduated from university where I was studying computer science, and I'm hoping to get some practical experience. Or, I've been working at my current job for a few years, but I'm hoping to find work where I can make a bigger difference. It's not that I don't like my current job, it's that I'm looking for more responsibility. And with all of these, explain them a bit more. Just a few sentences, not too personal, but also not too formal either. A lot of times people interviewing you want to see what your personality is like, especially if it's a job where you're going to be interacting with customers a lot. Tip number 3. If the interviewer asks, "How did you hear about this job?" you tell them how you heard about it, and then explain your intent for applying for the job. So remember, they might not be super interested in how exactly you heard about the job. As I said, they're just trying to find out about you, who you are, and what your personality is like. It gives you a chance to show interest in the work you might be doing. So here, we start with the past tense, and then we go into the speculative past continuous.
How did you hear about this job?
I heard from a friend that you had a few job openings, and I was hoping to get more experience in sales. My friend said that she learned a lot while working here. Or, I saw online that this was a good place to get experience in customer service, so I was hoping to come here to learn. Tip number 4. If the interviewer asks, "Why are you interested in the job?" or about your career goals, you tell them what your future goal is and what you want to do now to help you reach that goal. The interviewer might want to find out how sociable you are and how well you might get along with your coworkers. They don't need you to talk about how wonderful you think the company is or how big your goals are.
Why are you interested in the job? What are your career goals?
Well, I'm hoping to graduate in a few years. I'm studying accounting, but I don't plan to have a job where I just sit by myself all day. I want to work with a team or with customers. So I'm looking for work where I can get some experience working with customers directly. Or I'm hoping to eventually become a senior software developer. So right now I'm looking for a place where I can apply what I've learned and possibly learn from some of the senior developers here. here's an important extra tip for you. It's always a good idea to know something about the place that you're applying to. If you're looking for your first job after graduating as an accountant or a programmer, it's wise to learn about the company. What opportunities are there? Who are some of their clients? Do you know of anyone who has worked there previously? Even if it's a job at McDonald's, try to take some time to learn a little about the company. This will show them that you're interested in the company. A lot of people just say that they are motivated and hardworking. Doing a bit of research before the interview, no matter where you apply, will show them that you're the right person for the job. Tip number 5. If the interviewer asks you how you overcame a challenge in the past, you tell them the problem and how you solved it. To be honest, it's good to have a few answers to this ready. Even if they don't ask you this in an interview, it'll really help you present yourself confidently, reviewing some of the successes you've had, no matter how small. I remember when I applied for a job as a journalist at a small newspaper years ago. I spent a while reflecting on my own experiences in university and in other jobs. I remembered a lot of things from my past that I had almost forgotten, and I was able then to present some of those ideas in the interview.
Tell me about a time you overcame a challenge in the past.
When I was in university, I struggled with time management. I constantly left assignments to the last minute. My grades weren't bad, but I wasn't happy with them. In my 3rd year, I began to put study sessions into my calendar so that I would be able to start earlier. I also made sure to invite my classmates to come and work with me so that I couldn't cancel my study session or find an excuse not to go. In my final year of college, I got better grades than in the previous years. To this day, I still use a calendar when I have projects to work on. Or, when I was in college, we had a group assignment and we really got confused about whether or not our idea was what the teacher had in mind. The teacher generally wasn't very friendly in class, and we were all super scared to visit him during office hours to ask him. I absolutely could not get a bad grade in that class. So I went and talked to him, and he was super happy to help and answered all my questions. We ended up getting the best grade in the class. I gained a lot of confidence from that, and I made sure to have open communication with my professors for the rest of my university days. Now, these are all pretty serious, but here's one that isn't about university. I used to struggle to wake up in the morning. I was never late for work, but it made work unpleasant. I just felt so tired every morning. I did a bit of research online and found some tips on how to get good sleep. I started going to bed earlier, staying off my phone just before bed, and not eating too much late in the day. Almost immediately, I stopped having problems. I actually helped a few friends who had the same problem. And that's all. I hope you found these tips helpful, and remember, a key part of smashing your job interview is confidence. Preparing for a job interview is a chance to review your life and see where you've been strong and surpassed expectations. You might not get every single job you apply for, but with perseverance and a little confidence, you'll get that dream job soon. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.